right, everybody. We just started this meeting, and I forgot to push the record button. But I already told the people here some good news, which means that we will be starting a new round of deep funding before Christmas. So that's coming up really quickly. We expect to be able to launch it officially or open the portal officially somewhere around next week. The exact date will be communicated, and then keep it open until the 15th of January. I was just going with the team over a blog post I'm preparing right now on exactly this topic. So we'll continue to share my screen and go over that with all of you present here. One moment, let me share. So this is a blog article which is being written right now, so it's not final and it's not complete, but there's some information that I would already like to share in this group. And it will be out hopefully in a week or so for the rest of the community. So some things might still change here. So the exact starting date is not known yet. The end date we are aiming for January 15th. We could do it a week earlier, but we figured people might be on holiday, winter sports, whatever. So 15th of January would give everybody sufficient time, whether they use the Christmas holiday season for creating their proposal or rather work around it, then everybody would have sufficient opportunity to write and to submit something. So that's one thing. And then I was explaining about the rest of the process. So we have I'll do that also in a proper video, but for everybody here who's watching this, we'll have 4/5 weeks, but 4 weeks of submission period, during which any proposal can be submitted. Then we'll have 2 weeks of a stable period. That means that no new proposals will be received, but the community can review and analyze and assess existing proposals, and proposers can, based on that feedback, improve their proposal. After that period of 2 weeks, because the experience also learns us from the first round that a lot of proposals are only submitted at the end of the period. So therefore, we really need that stable period to give all the community sufficiently time to assess it. Then we have 1 week. About 1 week we expect that we need, unless there are 25,000 proposals, then we need a little bit more time. But 1 week to assess the eligibility of all proposals and to prepare our voting portal. And then after that week, we will start with the voting. So the 15th of January, submission period closes. 29th of January, the stable period closes, and then there is 1 week where we do our work behind the scenes internally and prepare the voting portal. So the voting should then, if all goes well, take place between the 6th and the 12th of February. This is always under condition that things might happen. But this is the way that we expect and plan this to happen with the current information. So about the timing, we also have information about the pools. I think in this group, this is already pretty well known. We have 2 main pools. The regular one, there's no maximum anymore, but it's just 1 pool. So not one for 40K and maximum 150K. But for whatever the proposers want to propose and the users want to vote. And there's the new pool for existing services, which is really exciting, and I'm really curious what will happen with that. And personally, I hope it will be very popular and we can do more with that. That would be greatest thing. And then we have projects in the ideation phase. That's also a specific pool category, and that came out as an outcome of the community governance round that we did a couple of weeks ago. So that's a new pool. I won't get into all the details here right now. There's a pool for marketing initiatives, and there's a pool for tooling for deep funding platform. Those two categories were already possible in round one, but not that explicitly visible, and also not limited with a specific budget. So we're reallocating that a little bit, but it's not a real inherent big change. Then, last or not last, but very interesting, I would say, is the total amount. So the total amount of this pool that we will distribute is 500K in 500,000 US dollars worth of AGIX. So that's still a lot of money, I would say. And the way that we plan to distribute it is like this. Here are the 5 pools. So the regular one has the largest amount, because there's also most work involved for end-to-end proposals. Existing services is a smaller amount of 125K, because we think we can have more proposals with each of them a smaller amount. So I can imagine that for 2K or 5K, you could already put forward a proposal for an existing service to have it onboarded. Whereas if you have to build a new service from scratch and do all the analysis that is needed for that, that will take more time. So hence the difference in amounts. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the end, there would be more, even with the lower amount, there would be more and possibly even much more proposals being awarded. Then 25K for projects in the ideation phase. That's really an experimental thing, just to get your feet in the water, and well, I won't get into the details of explaining what that project is about right now. But I think we can do there with a smaller amount, partly because it's experimental and partly because also there the deliverables will be limited. I think a large part here is also the exposure and the feedback that you're getting. Marketing initiatives, in round one, there wasn't a single marketing initiative. Maybe there was one. No, I don't think there was one actually proposed. So by putting it out there a little bit more visible like this, I hope it will get a little bit more attention. And yeah, I'm open to proposals there. And then we have tooling for deep funding of the platform. To be totally transparent here, I'm talking to some people and trying to create a proposal for tooling that will help us with the reputation rating. Initially aimed at deep funding, but then also as a tool that could be more generic for other platforms and other purposes. But it's not the idea that this will be sourced by SingularityNET or anything. It will be community driven. But since this is tooling that is also going to be used by our platform, yeah, I'm very interested in how this will evolve and the requirements for that proposal, etc. But then in the end, it's up to the community to decide if they think it's worth the money or not. So also that could be very interesting to see how that will play out. I also pointed out what this means for the deep funding treasury. So last round we had $1 million worth of AGIX, and this time it's $500,000 worth of AGIX. I don't remember exactly the token price during that time. I figure token prices at this moment, we shouldn't talk too much about that, but it's generally in the market, it's quite low. So therefore, that's another reason to be a little bit conservative here at the moment. We hope in the future we will be able to improve this. Not so much the token price, but the amounts offered as grants here. There's also a minimum exchange rate that we plan to implement. I did this on a premise here of 3.5 cents, dollar cents, which is a lot lower than today's rate and lower than it has been during the whole year. So I think that's a safe margin. So I hope we will never touch that. But if another disaster in the crypto world would surface and something would happen, then I want to make sure that the treasury is protected and it's not completely replenished as a result of that. So there's a minimum award, and if we would apply that minimum award, if the pools would be completely filled, which wasn't the case in round one. So from the million, I think there was something like 760 something dollars awarded. But if the full $500,000 would be filled up, then that would be, in a worst case scenario, amount to 14 million AGIX, which is, if we look at the current treasury with some payments of round one already done and some still underway, about 22%. So it's a chunk from the deep funding treasury, but it's a responsible chunk, and we balance the value that this round will have for the platform and our project in general with future proofness of and sustainability of the treasury. Yeah, there's some more talk about the new categories and also about the what I want to stress also to the community about these existing AI services. This is a pool which is very usable for AI developers, but also for community members that are not an AI developer. So there's also a very clear role for people that would like to search and allocate and contact AI developers and help them find their way to the platform, help them on board maybe, and get awarded for that as well. So I'll stop screen sharing here. Yeah, looking forward to your reactions on this. What do you think? Is it a good balance? Would you like to see something different?
Well, for me, it's not completely new, I have to admit. But yeah, I think it strikes the right balance, absolutely.
Yep, same here. I mean, the document I think you posted already some weeks ago, so we had time to read through it already.
Yeah, that's the general guides and conditions that I posted, which was much longer than this one. So this is really aimed at AI developers mainly. Also made a comment about the Community Engagement Award. So we will do the same as in the community governance experiment. I think we'll use the same amount, 100,000 AGIX, that we will distribute. I expect and I hope there will be a bit more contributors because it's an official round, but maybe also because people saw what happened in the governance experiment. But there will be a new learning experience and see what then the average payout to any contributor will be. So yeah, I think that will be all very interesting to see how this will work out. There's so many interesting things in this new round. There's the existing services, there is the next stage of these incentives. We will continue with the reputation ratings. Yeah, so for me, there's a lot to love and a lot to look forward to. Kevin is gone by now. He mentioned that he could only stay until health, so he overstayed his promise already. Yeah, I expect, I mean, if you hear or people who are watching this at a later moment have any feedback, ideas, critic, feel free to post it on our Telegram channel, Deep Funding Telegram channel, or even better, on our Discord channel. Peter, you're mentioning something in the chat. Perhaps announce intro session for next week. Yeah, so we were just talking. It was a suggestion of Felix here to have a session on introducing deep funding and explaining a little bit, and see if we can collect some more people who are interested in the new round and have questions about it. I think we need to discuss what is the best date for that, so I can't better not give you that in this recorded thing, because it might change. And I think ideally we would have that session before the portal opens, but if it would be a couple of days or even a week after the portal opens, that wouldn't be too bad either. I mean, you still have runway to do that. So
I think maybe it's even better to wait until the portal has opened, so people then, when they are really, let's say, want to take the momentum, they directly can jump in there and don't have to wait to say, okay, yes, everything is ready. You just have to wait some days until the portal is open. Then they may even forget about it already.
Exactly. Yeah. You're completely right. So we have a period that it's open, which is aimed at 4 weeks, but now because of Christmas, maybe half a week longer or something. So there's a period in which you have all the opportunity to enter your proposals, and of course it's always desired to do it as early as possible. First of all, because I'm very curious about all the proposals coming in, but secondly also because it will give you and the community more time to interact and hopefully get valuable feedback that will help you get your proposal on an even higher level. Okay, like I said, I will try to record a proper video where I take a little bit more time also explaining the new categories, what they are, and other rules around deep funding round 2. But these are the outlines for the insiders. Cool. Any other questions? Mitran maybe? Or remarks? Should I say Mitran or Mitran?
It's Mitran, yeah. But she might be just listening and it's over midnight on her place.
Okay.
So
okay.
It's in Vietnam.
Okay, no problem whatsoever. No pressure. Yes, then we have one other thing. So what we were aiming to do for other people who have been in this community governance meeting before, Felix again had a great idea to do a short retrospective on the meetings that we've had until now, and that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Mitran. I see your notice, no questions, and looking forward for. I also translated that a little bit as looking forward for the official announcement. I know, Peter, that the recording is still running, but that's on purpose. The best practice here is to record the whole session, right? And it's not a commercial. It's just a recording of our meeting. So we would like to have a next call on the next call, maybe next week, to evaluate these meetings. And I can imagine that we talk about the frequency, about the duration, about why the fuck I don't, I shouldn't say that on a recorded meeting, I don't shut up earlier and more and let other people do more of the talking. Maybe also, I can think of maybe I shouldn't be saying anything about this and just leave it to you to come with your feedback. So we can have a discussion on that next time. And we will prepare a short survey in preparation to that so that everybody can fill it. So we already have some, and you can do that anonymously if you want. So we have an honest and clear baseline that we can then discuss in the next call. So what we were thinking about just now as a second topic for this call, and second and I think last topic for this call, is to brainstorm a little bit on what kind of questions. Do you want me to start, or is somebody else, Felix maybe, want to start and give some ideas? Oh, Peter is already pasting it on Slack.
Exactly.
No, you can also do that, and I can copy it later. Maybe that's easy, and then I'll read it aloud. So one forum question would be: did you participate in a deep funding community governance experiment this fall? Ended a month ago or so. What did you think of the rewards? Too high, good, too low? Will you participate in the next governance round? Are you more interested in token rewards or in reputation? Okay, this is interesting because the way that I figured these questions, it would not be just about the community governance experiment, but also about these sessions that we are having right now. But I think we could do both. What is your idea, Felix?
I think both would definitely make sense. On the beginning, I had more the idea to also, especially to these calls, to these working sessions and everything. Yeah. And that would be more like, what did you learn? For example, what is your experience? What are your values which you take off these calls? For example, do they motivate you? Do they inspire you? Whatnot?
Yeah, it will be very revealing. I'm starting to get nervous already.
No, because even if critic comes, critic is always
only
constructive.
That guy could be removed.
And to be honest, that there won't be much critic because it's a really nice experience. You guys are pretty awesome. So
well, there's always room for improvement, and yeah, the whole idea about these sessions is to get that out in the open. So I think it's really great idea, Felix. I mean that, and yeah. So we can also have some questions. As should I also write it here? Yeah, should we ask people? No, I don't think we should ask people how often they attended, or should we? Is that important?
Well, we know it because we tracked all the calls with the participation.
Yeah, but the answers are anonymous. So it doesn't matter if somebody suppose somebody would be very critical or very positive. Would it make a difference if he joined 5 times or only 1 time?
Not really. I mean, depends on the criticism or the compliments. If it clearly shows it's not based on the actual calls, then yeah, it's a bit weird. But
all right, let's not ask any questions that are difficult to answer and that don't give any value. So let's not ask that one. The most important question for me around these meetings would be, what would you like to see improved? An open question. And maybe also what, so these typical things like what should we continue to do and what should we stop doing? And what should we start doing?
So maybe also really simple. What went well? What didn't went well? really simple, but answers might mostly really hint in interesting topics then.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
also
that aligns to stop doing and stop doing and continue doing what went well and what didn't went well. And a third one would be is something that we didn't do at all, but that people would like to see. Maybe we can do things in these meetings that never crossed my mind that would still be very valuable.
Maybe also like then really, let's say, meta question like, what is your envisioned purpose of this group, for example?
Yeah.
Some might say maybe, yeah, it's really a place where decisions are made. Others might say, it's just a place to get some great inside informations and stay tuned and up to date. We don't know yet, but might be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That would be very, very interesting. Okay, just laughing at a comment on chat. Yeah, you know, I'll think of some questions. I think we have a proper outline here. I have to articulate it, but basically, indeed, as you say, what do you like? What don't you like? What is your envisioned purpose? What do you think the purpose is, or what it should be? Could be one question. I think it's because the community that is regularly joining is relatively small. It's also fine to have some open questions, and open questions usually give more information than multiple choice. So yeah, let's have a few open questions and a few multiple choice questions in there.
It actually makes me wonder if we should perhaps facilitate a way of input. Like in a way it's already there, like people can put stuff on Discord or Telegram and ask questions to be covered during these calls. That's possible, but maybe there's something we can do to facilitate for people who are interested but not able to actually attend the current time slot.
Yes. Like you say, there's Telegram, there's Discord, we had Sway where we started things like that, more not so much related to these calls, but more to deep funding in general. If there is a desire or a need for that, I would love to make a special channel for that. I'm also a little bit wary of creating channels that then die because there's nobody there or just two people and then afterwards it's quiet. So, but maybe we can see if that is a possible outcome of this survey, or we could ask a question about it, or actually that would be a question not for this group, it would be a question for people who are not in this group and still interested. So what we could do is somehow create a different survey. So I think there's benefit in having this service with this group about this group. And if anybody who is also watching these videos, you're also part of the group. If you've never joined a meeting but are only consuming it in a different way because of whatever reason, feel free. Your input is equally valuable. Then again, I can imagine it might also at some point be interesting to ask the larger community, what do you think of deep funding so far? And what can we improve, and would be interesting.
So that would kind of aim at people who do want to contribute and share their thoughts, but do not want to participate, for example, in this in-between governance.
It would be addressed to everybody who has an interest in deep funding, but no interest in governance of deep funding. So I can imagine that for the wider community, people get some glimpses in some notifications and maybe see 30 seconds of a video that I post somewhere and get some information. People that don't necessarily feel motivated to be part of the rulemaking and the conditions, etc., or reviewing or whatever, but to still have an interest in the program. I'm not sure. I'm also not sure what is the right timing. Maybe we should do it after round 2. That could, okay, and then we have had 2 rounds and a governance round, or maybe after the next governance round. Or maybe even after round 3. But I do think at some point it would be good and helpful to ask the wider community for feedback.
Absolutely agree there. Yeah. I would say before round 2 is a bit that doesn't make sense. That's too quick, I feel.
Yeah. So let's do it now. We do the survey for the community governance group and people who are watching it, and we'll keep a wider survey in the back of our mind for later for a later date. Peter is frozen, I think, or is doing a really good pantomime or something.
All right. I think he's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. I think we'll just make. I'll just make the survey. I'll make some questions. I'll discuss it with Peter. Yeah, and then we'll just put it out there. And then we'll have a call afterwards. And if we forgot a question or it wasn't quite clear, then there's a call to have a discussion about it anyway. And another thing for those who are watching this and are not able to attend, it occurs to me right now that a number of people in this call also are affiliated with Cardano Catalyst, which makes me really happy. But it also so happens that the town hall of Catalyst has been rescheduled to another time slot and now overlaps our time slot. So yeah, we're looking if we need to put this or schedule this on another time slot. I've asked about it on Discord already if people have ideas or suggestions about it. If you have a suggestion about it, if you're watching this, then let me know. And we'll try to accommodate as many people as possible.
Just one note, Catalyst Town Hall wasn't rescheduled actually, it's always in 1700 UTC.
Oh, really?
But yes, but in summer and winter time, when we switched over into winter time, this call here has been rescheduled actually. we moved against the time while Catalyst Town Hall just sticks with the time.
All right. Yeah, it was Kenrick mentioning that it had a different time slot, and there was some confusion about time slots as well. So, all right. So it's my fault. It's our fault of our stupid people in Europe with this summer and winter time.
No. This is, oh my god, I from Cardano community. Each time when winter summer time changes, you just have 2 weeks of constant confusion. Everybody's too early or too late. Nobody is on the spot. It's too fucking time zone actually.
Yeah. If it was up to me, we could get rid of that, but that won't happen in short term. All right, but yeah, the message is the same. It is overlapping right now, so let me know if you prefer another time slot on the same day or a different day. And if I don't get clear feedback on this or any feedback at all, then I will just keep it here, and we can always change it later. But for the next session, if we're doing the survey and then want to discuss it in the next session, and the survey is about these meetings, it would actually be quite nice to have as many people in the call as possible. So be there. And yeah, I think that basically rounds up the topics for this call. So unless any of you have any other topics to address, thank you for joining. Hope to see you next time. And yeah, keep an eye out for that survey. It shouldn't take too long to get that published. I'll make an effort to do it quickly to give people some time to enter their feedback on at their leisure.